Hello, everybody, and welcome to Makeover Monday 2021 Week 5. This week we're looking at renewables versus fossil fuels in different countries in Europe, continuing with our theme of the first few weeks of 2021 here on looking at environmental data. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat. And if you like what you see today, please recommend it to somebody and invite them to join us the next time. So let's get started. Okay, so first off, let's have a look at the original visualization. So if I go down here, okay, here's the report, and we can see that it's actually pretty good. It is looking at renewables overtaking fossil fuels from 2010 to 2020. What I do like is that they're using green to represent kind of green energy and black to represent more like coal and fossil fuels. Maybe dirty energy might be the way to put it. I'm not quite sure why they have different dotted lines. I guess that's just to identify the difference between renewables and wind and solar, for example. But I typically wouldn't do dashed lines though, because that implies that there's a break in the line for some reason. So I probably wouldn't do that. Other than that, I think the chart looks pretty good. It clearly shows the change. I like how they've made the most recent year, the dot, a bit bigger, so that looks good. And this is percent share of electricity in the EU27. So I would assume that if you add up the four dots down the end here, so 38 and 37, that's what, 85. Okay, so these do not add up to 100%. So 36 and 38 is 60, that's 75. Oh yeah, they probably do add up to 100% or close to it. So yeah, other than that, I like the tooltips, nice, super fast and reactive. I like how they've color coded the text in the tooltip as well. So you'll see coal is in black there, and here we've got wind and solar in green. I think the precision of the numbers is unnecessary in the tooltip. So wind and solar says 11.19%. 11.2% is probably fine, or maybe even 11%. Yeah, so it was a very rich data set that they were able to provide. So I'm going to go ahead and look at it here. So this data comes from, it looks like it comes from, let's see, it has different years. So we go from 2000 to 2020. The area, this looks like it's actually probably a country. So EU, okay, and we have some aggregates in here, EU 27, EU 27 plus 1, okay, and they even have the UK in the EU, which they no longer are. The variable, this would be the different fossil fuel type, but it doesn't identify which ones are green and which ones are not, so that may be something that we need to look into a bit more. So so this looks like so share of production, that's what the chart shows, and I'm not interested in the changes. So the generation TW, okay, so I'm going to okay, so let's see if there's a definition here of what the TWH means. Let's see. I think it was TWH. Yeah, pivot. TWH. Not quite sure what the. It's something. It must be terawatt hours or something like that. So TWH. I probably could look it up, I guess. So carbon intensities. Okay. So Eurostat mapping. So lignite, hard coal, gas. Okay, other fossil. Okay, wind, solar, bio. Okay, so I'm going to guess then that oops, I just moved that somehow. I'm going to guess that nuclear, hydro, solar, wind, and bioenergy are the green, and the other ones are not. So I need to look up, so TWH energy. I just want to make sure I understand what unit that is. So terawatt hour, so 1 trillion watt hours. Okay, so that's good to know. Okay, and I want to see, for example, so rising renewables. Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is nice. This gives us the breakdown of the ones that are renewable and those that are, what are they calling the other ones? Fossil fuels. Okay. So let's connect to the data set. I need to go ahead and start up Tableau first, I guess. Okay. All right, let's see here. Come on. Sorry, it's a bit slow. I'm going to go ahead and connect to the data set. And let's go Makeover Monday, data 2021, and that. Okay, and the sheet I want to connect to is the one called data. Okay, easy enough. And let's just do data. Okay, well, I thought I dragged it there. Maybe I didn't. Okay, I'm going to hide these two columns because I don't need those. That way they don't distract me. We've got generation. So I'm going to call this power generated. And share of production. Okay, that's fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a group on here. So this is, so let's call this fuel type. So coal, let me see here. So if I go back to the article, so fossil fuels, so renewables, bioenergy. Okay, so these are actually different. Renewables growth is driven by wind and solar. Oh, okay, okay. So bioenergy, hydro, other renewables, solar, wind and solar, renewables. I wonder if nuclear would be considered. Wind and solar continues its rise. Okay, wind and solar. So there's a bunch of really nice charts here, which is good to see. Okay, what I'm trying to see is what is considered where they put nuclear. I thought nuclear was a clean. This looks really nice too. Clean energy. So falling fossils. Okay, let's see here. So nuclear gas. Okay, so they don't consider that. Okay, so let's group that, and I'll call this renewables. And then this one is that net imports nuclear, other fossil. So I think they had nuclear, coal, wind and solar, gas. Okay, so I'm just going to look that up just to be sure. Is nuclear energy, is nuclear a fossil fuel? It must know what I'm asking. Nuclear energy is considered another non-renewable energy source. Okay, yep. So let's call this one fossil fuels. I guess that's not exactly right. Oh, and we can close that. And then we demand net imports and production. Okay, so there's a couple other variables here. All right, so first thing I'm going to try to do is to, okay, all right, so let's see. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to filter to the EU 27. And I'm just going to try to remake the original chart so we can, oops, view actual size. Sorry about that. I'm not quite sure why it went so crazy there. Okay. So renewables against fossil fuels. So variable. So fossil versus. So they've already got some aggregations built in here. So year, variable on color, share of production. And I'm just going to turn the labels on the ends of the line. So 38.2 and 36. Okay, good. So I can verify that. So the share, it looks like it needs to be divided by 100. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make it a custom number and just put a % sign on the end. There we go. Okay, so that's that. So renewables, fossil fuels. So for the, let's inspect want to make sure I like their colors, so I'm just going to try to grab their colors. Come on. Let's see if I'm able to. Come on. There we go. So the RGB is 90, 187, 55. Okay, so RGB is 90, 187, oops, 187, 55. Okay, and then the fossil is, okay, 35, 34, 66. Okay, I like their colors, that's why I'm just kind of redoing it there. All right, so that looks pretty good. So that's the area. So I think I actually kind of like some of their visualizations they had down here at the bottom. Let me close that window. So for example, there's a couple styles that I like this one, for example, monthly electricity demand in 2020 versus 2019. So but this is by month, which we don't have, but maybe we could look at something similar to that, but looking at it as maybe by year instead. So let's go ahead and create a new sheet, and I want to put, let's say, year here. Okay, come on. And I just need to copy these two calculations, because these are what I'm going to use to create my trellis chart. Come on. And if you have a comment and then the calculation, you could just drag it over and it'll save the calculation. So I'm going to just drag that over and close that. And then I want both of these to be discrete. And put columns. We need to make year onto detail and area onto detail. Reverse those. Make this an attribute. And let's edit the table calc. So we want it to be by area and year at the level area. That's the columns. And then edit area, year at the level area. Okay, so now if I put the value, so I could probably put, if I do the share, okay, so I want this to be a line. Okay, so that didn't quite work out, did it? Let's see, make date. I'm just making a date field instead. And then create a custom date. I'm just going to call it my year. Tableau's giving me a range here of 0 to 2000, which I don't like, so that's what I'm changing here. So I'm going to put that there and put that here and make that an attribute. Okay, so now I just need to update my, it doesn't look like it likes the year as a date field. This needs to restart every area. There we go. Okay, there we go. So that looks better. And so let's make this fit entire view. And I see something like that, but I've got the numbers added together. So I think maybe what I'll do is if I put the variable in and I do fossil fuels versus, what was the other one? Renewables. So those are aggregations. And then I can put the variable on color. We get something like that, which looks kind of cool. And then, so maybe I should filter out. So if I filter out, so none, so let's get rid of, I'm going to get rid of the ones that are not countries. So Italy, UK, okay, I don't think I'm missing any. I could maybe leave the EU 27 in. Okay, but now I've got one extra. Okay, that's fine. And then I think I'm going to manually sort these. So sort. and maybe I could sort these by the one that has the highest percentage of renewables in 2020. Okay, so let me include in tooltip, uncheck include in tooltip, uncheck include in tooltip, hide the header, hide the header. Okay, so so let's say we want to get 2020 share. So fixed on area, and I want to say some if variable equals renewables and year hello Maggie, thank you for the kisses. Maggie just stopped by to say hi. And year is 2020. Then we want to bring in the share and then end. Okay, and then that. Okay, so this is basically saying for each area, return the share of production if the year is 2020 and the variable is renewables. Okay, so if I put that on the label, you'll see I get the same mark all the way around. That's good, that's what I want. Okay, so we can get rid of that, and now I can sort the areas by the field descending 2020 share. Yeah, okay. So you can see we've got 79.3, 78.2. Okay, I like that. So let's put the 2020 share on labels. And then on my label shelf, I'm going to only do the min max, and I want to do it for the year, just the minimum. Okay, and there's our share. So default properties, number format. And let's just put a percent sign there. Okay, but I only want to put the, I don't want to show the label on the fossil fuels. So, okay, label. Let's see, so line, that's not going to change anything. Okay, shoot, because now it's only showing, it's showing me the label on the black line as well. Okay, maybe I'll come back to that later. Okay, so that's one view. So this is our let's say small multiple lines. Okay, let's see if there's any more questions. Let's see, nuclear fossil fuels make up 100%. Okay. Okay, and then I'm just going to duplicate this. I'm going to remove that field from the text shelf, and I'm going to make it an area chart. And each of these should now add up to 100%, but we see a bit of an issue here. Okay, so they must not, so some of these years, they must not have recorded data for that. Okay, so that doesn't really help me very much. I was hoping each of these would add up to 100%, but they don't, so that's not very good. So I'm going to just undo and get rid of that sheet. Okay, so maybe now we could look at the, let me just look at the 2 years. So make that discrete. I'm just going to look at the 2000 versus 2020. And let's say we want to look at the, oh geez, let's put year up here and area onto detail, share of production there, line. And what I want to look at here is, again, I could look at renewal, fossil versus renewables. Okay, and then variable here. Okay. So almost every country except for Lithuania. So Lithuania had a big increase in fossil fuels. Are there any decreases? Okay, so that's the only, I'm just kind of spot checking. Okay, so renewables. So Latvia had a decline in renewables. Okay. So if I show the highlighter and okay, Finland, Greece. Okay, so they're all, there's not, this isn't particularly useful, but I thought it might be interesting to see if there's any changes. So looking at a slope graph there, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a actually, let me just do this, edit data source filters. I want to get rid of the EU27 everywhere, or sorry, EU27 plus 1. I'm just going to exclude that. Okay, then I don't need that filter on there. There we go. Okay, so that doesn't tell me a whole lot, so let me just duplicate. I'm going to get rid of the year. Maybe put that here. Let's make this contiguous. Okay. So again, it doesn't tell me a whole heck of a lot. Okay, let me look back at some of the things they've created. So monthly energy demand. So I could look at maybe year-over-year change. So let me duplicate this sheet, and I'm going to now just look at just maybe fossil or just renewables. So let me look at just renewables, and I want to make this a bar. Make this discrete. Okay, and what I want to look at now, let's get rid of that. I want to look at the year-over-year change in power. I think that's what they're using there, monthly energy demand. So let's edit table calc, percent difference from, okay, paint across. So let's see, we're going to do, this is where it's going to get a bit messy again. So area and year at the level area. Okay, I don't know if that's right. So renew EU27, Sweden, Luxembourg, minus 98. Okay, that can't be quite right. Let's see here. Year, area, year, variable. Okay. So, edit table calc. Area, year, variable, area, relative to previous. Okay. So something's not quite right in my table calc. Actually, I don't need variable in here anymore anyway. Okay, but it's not hurting anything. Okay, so I need to then, okay, so those are still sorted. So sort, let's say field 2020 share. Okay. So I'm going to put the power generated onto the tooltip so I can see what's going on here. So 6, 6, 7. Okay, but this must be really large. Okay, so that's the problem we've got. Okay, so it's not quite edit table calc at the level area relative to previous. Okay, what if I just did difference from? No, that's not what I want. Okay, let me try this a different way. So let me clear the sheet. I'm going to do area and year. And let's put power on the labels. Okay, let's make this a text. Make that discrete. Okay, so what I want to do now, so that's 242, 252. So I want to add a table calc. Percent difference from for each area. Okay, there we go. So that's actually what I want. Okay, so now if I take, let's see, so I want to put year here, copy it down to here, make this an attribute, column in the columns, row in the rows, area onto detail. Okay, so now I need to edit my table calc, And I want that to be by area by year, restarting every area. And then edit table calc, area, year, reset every area. Okay, and then this can be moved to the filters, make that a line. Okay, and then this needs to be above that. Okay, there we go. So this is showing me the percent change. So this should be similar results here. So Austria. Okay, so that looks a bit better. So this is, I need to do my variable. I was looking at, let's see, just renewables. Okay, so here we've got a bit of an issue here because Malta screws up the whole chart. Okay. Let's see. Let's look at fossil fuels. Okay, again, we've got a couple of these that, because the percentage changes so much, maybe what I could do, what does it look like if I exclude that point? Okay, that's not going to help. So this is now showing me, let's see, edit table calc. Yeah. Boo. That stinks. It's not what I was hoping for. Yeah, the percentages are just too high to make this look any good. So how are they viewing that here then? Monthly electricity demand change in 2019 versus 2018. Okay. Source. Okay, I like this chart. Falling fossil fuels. Coal continues to collapse across Europe. So, okay, so let me duplicate. And this time I'm going to look at edit filter. I'm going to look at none coal. Let's just look at coal. Okay. And I could probably take that off the view and just make it black. All right, take that off as well. Okay, so now we've got something like that. But these are all really, really low. Share of production is 0. Yeah, some of these can't be right. So they're excluding certain countries here. Terawatt hours. Oh, okay, so let's just do terawatt hours. Let's see some of these. So the EU 27. See, it makes all the yeah, so they're excluding the EU 27. So let's area none, EU 27 exclude. Okay. Hard coal and lignite generation percent change from 19. Okay. It's going to be hard to make a decent chart here. Okay. So what I'm going to try to do at first is just see if I can match this chart. So let's see. This is looking at, so let me put the on label. So Germany, where's Germany? So Germany 2015 is 272. Okay, so if I filter down to this same list of countries, so what is it? Germany, Poland, Czech Republic, Italy, Poland, Czech Republic, Italy, Bulgaria, Romania, Netherlands, Greece, Spain, Netherlands, Spain, Greece. Okay, let's just leave it like that. Let's see, it's still, if I make this, so let's make that discrete. And then make these bars. Why is my axis so high? Okay, so it's okay. So that gives us something like that, but that still doesn't look particularly good. And the area chart, I think I like this one the best so far. But I think what I'm going to do now for the sort here is I'm going to make it alphabetical, but the field, no, see, I'm going to do manual. Oh, shoot. So alphabetical, and then I'm going to change it to manual. What the hell? Why does it keep? Okay, let's forget this. So I'm going to call this my Z country. So if area equals EU 27, then 1 else 2 end. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort this by field, descending, no, ascending, Z country average. Okay, so now that should be EU27, and then the rest of these are going to be in alphabetical order. Okay, good, that's what I was hoping for. Okay, so there's that, but I could, if I duplicate this, and I think I tried this already, but if I change that to just watt hours, okay, that doesn't look very good. So let's see, area, and if I just get rid of EU27, yeah, so that still doesn't look very good. Okay. Right. Okay, let's go back to this here. That doesn't look very good. Okay, so this has lots of insights in it. Okay, here we go. Fossil versus renewables. Okay, so they actually have nuclear as its own category. I can take care of that later. So fuel type in a group. I want to take nuclear out of that group. Okay. But there's also a demand field. So variable. If I make this demand, okay, and clear the axis. Area. Okay, that's not helping me either. All right, that's fine. Let me delete this. Okay, let's do another new sheet. So if I look at maybe just 2020, and I could put maybe area here, and variable. So they're looking at fossil, nuclear, and renewables. So fossil, nuclear, renewables, and share of production, variable and color. Okay, and then they have nuclear as like a purplish color. That's fine, I can just pick one. So nuclear, I've got like a bright purple color palette here. Don't go so fast. So nuclear is maybe make something like that. And okay, so fossil, nuclear. So let's switch these around. So fossil, renewables, nuclear. Okay, and then how is it's sorted by fossil. Okay, so so fossil. So if variable, so let's see, variable equals fossil. Okay, so let's do integer of that times share of production. Okay, so what that's going to give me is it's just going to give me the same length of the bar. So what this function actually does is it's saying, is this true? Is the variable is that true or false? And then make an integer turns it into a 1 if it's true or a 0 if it's false. Multiply it by the share of production, and then you get that. So now what I can do is I can sort the areas by the fossil. So field, descending, fossil. Okay, I can take that off the view. All right, so we get something like that, which looks pretty good. And then if we turn the labels on, okay, it's not that great. So same sort of look they have here. Looks like they've faded it out a bit. Okay. Poland, so EU 27 is here. Okay, so able to reproduce that pretty easily. But it's just okay. Doesn't do anything. Okay, so power carbon sector intensity in 2015. Power sector carbon intensity, grams. Okay, we don't have that. All right, so let me go back to the top here. Again, I'm just scanning through their charts because I think they actually look pretty good. Okay, so wind and solar. So let's maybe let's take this and let's make it, so this is total kilowatt hours. Okay, so I'm going to clear that table calc, and this variable is going to be wind and solar. Okay, EU 27 again. See, that's messing it up again. So it must be doing, what the heck is it measuring here? Rest of EU. This must be like an average or something here. So what if I change this to an average? It shouldn't change anything here. But if I get rid of the EU 27, I still don't get anything very useful. Okay. So it looks like I don't know why they picked just these few countries, but they did. So 2010 versus 2020. Okay, so we should be able to reproduce that one. So we've got, okay, so 2010, 2015. This is our wind and solar as a percent of electricity produced. Okay, so variable, wind and solar, share of production by area. Make these circles. I'm going to put year onto detail. So 20, what do we do? 2000, 20, what do we do every 5 years? 2015, 2020. And then I'm going to put year onto color. And okay, so let's see. So let's just do the two like they did. And how is this sorted? It looks like it's sorted by the 2020 value. So 2020 share, renewables, wind and solar. I'm just going to duplicate this, edit, wind and solar. Solar is lowercase. It's case sensitive, so you have to be careful with that. So let's sort the area now by the field, descending, and share. Okay, there we go. And then what they did is they just duplicated this and made it a line. This one, make a circle. Okay, good. And then on this one, we are, let's see, we're putting line onto path, year onto path, make it a dual axis and synchronize. And then I would actually move the marks to the back. So it looks something like that. Okay. So okay. 2015. Okay, and then again. I might change these colors later if I end up using this, but okay. So that's that kind of look. So I could then hide that header, and there we go. So now we've got, you know, that sort of look like they have here. They've made the lines really thin, so I could do something like that. And that makes it stand out pretty well. So I think that doesn't look too bad. So let's make the dots a bit bigger. Something like that. Okay, so that's that. I could, so this is my barbell. And then if I duplicate that, if you want to make it look, if you could kind of change the size of the line until it goes kind of around the circles. Oh, not that big. Something like maybe that. Yeah, gotta keep playing around. Okay, so something like that. Maybe make this a light gray or something. And that's just another look. I like to call this like peas in a pod. I don't know what else to call it, but it looks like, you know, a pea pod with some peas inside of it. So that's okay. Let's see what else they have here. Wind and solar, impact of COVID. Okay. Another idea here is we could look at it again by area. Maybe put the year up here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these circles and I'm going to size them. Let's take the variable, let's say renewables, and I'm going to put the share of production onto size. And then if I make these a bit bigger, you should see them start to kind of like overlap each other a bit. That looks a bit too much. Entire view. Oop, entire view. Okay. The problem now, these are all like interfering with each other. So if I put like the average of 0 here, and that's going to just give me that nice little reference line through the middle, or that nice little 0 line through the middle. So what I would do here is clean up this is called a circle timeline. I'm going to go ahead and hide that header. And now we get something like that. The problem now is that these circles are all overlapping, so it's hard to really see. So if I do fit width, yeah, see there it's a bit better, but it's still, you can't really necessarily see the timeline very well. So, because ideally you have something like that where they overlap, but yeah, I don't see a lot of like, sometimes you can see, here we go, so here's an example. So Denmark, you can see their renewables are going up and up. So maybe if I change this, let me just show the filter. If I make this wind and solar, you can see Denmark's switches between wind and solar. Ah, okay, maybe I could do, okay, so that's just a circle timeline. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to look at renewables versus fossil fuels. So let's duplicate and oops, edit renewables. I'm going to make what's called a connected scatter plot. So renewables and fossil fuels. Make it a line. I'll make it a circle first. So let's put, we could put, what if we put area onto detail? Or no, I only want one area. I'm just going to look at the EU27 to start. And I'm going to put year onto detail. And now we get a dot for each year. Make it a line and put the line on the path. So, okay. Come on. Yeah. So uncheck that. Come on. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is on the ends of the lines, I'm going to do it by the year. So now I can see which year is which. So 20, okay, so I'm going to flip this around so it looks like, okay, that didn't help me very much. So fossil fuels is going down while renewables is going up. So yeah, so this is called a this is called a connected scatter plot. Okay, so maybe we could, I wonder if I can do kind of the small multiples view for every area. So if I put every area on detail, see I'm getting a line for each area. And then, so if I put my columns and my rows, and if I edit my table calc to be area and year, starting every area, and then this one, edit table calc, area and year at the level area. Okay, so now I'm seeing each country here. I could see their percent. So Austria, so 2000, 2020. So Luxembourg. So these are just straight. So that's interesting. This just keeps, it's just a perfectly straight line, which is a bit suspect to me. Okay, well that didn't really help. I was hoping we'd have some kind of nice view there, but let me, what if I show that as a filter? Yeah, so this is really strange. So 2003, it goes up and then it comes back down. But it's weird how it's like on a perfectly straight line. Italy, Latvia, Netherlands, Portugal. Yeah. So the one that was, so the UK, here we go. So that's pretty interesting. So the circle timeline, if I go back over here, oh wait, I didn't pick a, that's stupid. Oh gosh, let me go all the way back. Just take the area off the filter. Let me go back here. I didn't pick a fuel type, so a variable. Oh no, but I'm already filtering out the variable based on my calculations here, so that's fine. Okay, well, not particularly helpful. I think it was Denmark. Area, none, Denmark. Okay, so that's just a straight decline. Okay, so that's not very useful. So edit U27. I'm just trying to find some kind of interesting insights, but there aren't a whole lot. Okay, so that's fossil versus renewables, and maybe, what if I put that on size? No, that doesn't help. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's I don't mind it too much when it's just the EU, because it kind of shows how it's going down. The circle timeline looks decent. So what I want to do is I want to look at the circle timeline in a dashboard, because I might be able to make it look a bit better. So let's delete that layout. So let's get rid of this. That's fine, leave that there. So 0, 0. What is it? Oops, wrong spot. Okay, so this should be, let's make it 1400 high by like 800 wide. Okay, so okay, so that still doesn't make it look very good because the dots are too big. Okay, so what if I just reduce the size of the dots? So we could see kind of a, let me just move this out of the way up here. Okay, so for wind and solar, we can see most of the country is increasing, but still it's not really anything. The chart isn't really that great. Okay, so what if I change this to coal? Should see it go the other way around. Okay, fossil fuels, net imports. I don't even need some of these fields. Renewables. Okay, wind, solar. There you go. So you can see solar power. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so let me go back here again. Right, so I'm not seeing anything particularly great. Let's see. You can just look at your comments real quick. Sarah Pallet, is it possible to do a chart that shows a forecast, wondering which countries are on track to reach their climate goals? Yeah, so I could do a forecast. So let's say that I just want to do a line chart by, let's say we just want to look at renewables, and we want to look at it by, let's see, we don't need to put a filter on. Let's just say we want to look at it by area. We could, because this is a time series here on the renewables, I could come down, or no, I need to go over to my analytics pane. Let's see, so the forecast, it has to be, I think this has to be, why is it not letting me do the forecast? Can't be added because a date cannot be derived from the fields in this view. Oh, interesting. Okay, so let me try this. Let me see if it works this way. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, so you could do something like that, or even if I, let me just duplicate this sheet, and I'm going to get rid of, I'm going to keep just renewables instead, so renewables. Okay, take variable off the view. So just the renewables, and if I don't think I can put my forecast on here, no, because I would need to, let's see, if I do it as a date and make it a attribute, can I then put a forecast on? Nope, so this would need to be the date field. Just trying to do it in like a small multiple view instead. So year, okay. But this is going to, I don't think this is going to work anyway. Yeah, so that's not going to work anyway. Okay, so you could do it, where's that sheet I just created? This one here. So maybe if I just put area onto here. So you can put a forecast on each line if you wanted to. So for example, let's say I want to make these then like spark lines, for example. Come on, sorry, it's going really slow because of this recording. And then if I want to edit my forecast, so forecast options, I'm going to, so that shows the prediction intervals. And then you have these forecasting model options, so you can, you can kind of change these however you want. I usually just go with the automatic if it's an option. And if you don't want to see this kind of split in the line, forecast result, so you can also do these options here. You could just move the forecast indicator to the, okay, why did it split the year? Oh, I think it's because the forecast is, it's not accounting for, oh shoot, I don't remember. I hardly ever use the forecasting option, but yes, you can do it if you want. If that's kind of, if that answers your question at all. Can you do a scatter? Okay, imagine a straight line. Okay, can you do a scatter showing the delta between 2020 and 2000 to 2020 for the 2 dimensions. Not. So Michael, you said a scatter plot for 20. So do you mean like 2020 on one axis and 2000 on the other axis? Is that what you mean? So let's say, let me duplicate this. And if I edit this and make it 2000, let me just look at wind and solar and change this to the year 2000. I could put maybe that there, and then the area on detail. And we get something like that. So let me swap these around. So you can see there's a pretty big difference here. So Denmark in particular, I think that's what you mean, Michael. But I think if I were going to do it this way, I would probably do it as a, I would probably do this with a slope graph instead. So if I duplicate this and I want to, so variable, we're looking at share wind and solar. Okay, we can get rid of those. I'm going to put the year on detail and then filters, so 2000, 2020, and then put the share production. I would probably do it more like, no, that's not very good. But that's another way to measure it to see the change. But yeah, I get your point here with the circles here. Yeah, so that is an option, and then maybe you could size it by the power generated. But that's but this would need to be variable wind and solar. Okay, yeah, so that's not very useful then. But yeah, so this is looking at the difference between 2020 and 2000. So I think that's what you mean, Michael. So Simon's asking about a map. So the area field I could turn into a country, and then if I just show that on the map, and let's say I want to do 2020 wind and solar on color, I could get something like that. I mean, it's okay. I don't find it particularly insightful. I have one unknown because that's the EU. If I change it to maybe a circle, and then what if I put that on size instead? So let me take it off color. You can kind of see, which countries have the largest share of wind versus solar. I'm sorry, of the largest. Which ones have their largest share of wind and or what their share of wind and solar is in each country. Yes, so there's that. I don't know if that's particularly useful. Yearly, quarterly, and custom. So we can't do quarterly. So another question just came in from, can we create a yearly, quarterly, and custom date parameter controlling chart when custom date could be dynamic? No, we could, but it's not very useful because there is no quarters. So there's only yearly level data. Another thing we could maybe look at is, so if I wanted to look at a Europe tile map. Yeah, so something like this. Let's see. So tile map Europe. Oh, I think I might even have this file already. So let's see. Okay, Europe hexagon tile map. What's that one? September. Pretty sure US states. Where do I have this file? I'm pretty sure. So this is by John Schwabish, and I'm pretty sure that I have this file somewhere. So what's it called? Tile. Oh shoot. So that's US states. Okay. That's all. Okay, so no. All right, so let me go to. I'm wondering if I did it as a tile map, how would that look instead of the? Okay, so the blah blah. Okay, US and Excel. Okay, so that's fine. All right, so let's see. Here's the Excel file. Okay. So let's copy that. Okay, so policy is okay. Now I think so for Tableau, I'm going to need a country in a column, the row in a column. So I'm going to need three columns, one for each country. Okay, so window. Why is this not opening? Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Right, so Europe. Come on. So data. Okay. Right, but that doesn't really have what I'm looking for. Because this is like my row and this would be my column. So I wonder if there's an easy way, because this would be like row 2, column 2. But that's not going to be very easy to do. Okay, maybe I'll try that after this session. All right, but I need to finish. So yeah, that's something else I might have a look at later. So I think I'm going to just maybe stick with this one because I like how this looks. But I don't like my labels on the end, so I think I'm going to just take that off. But I do actually, let me go forward. And this is my 2020 share renewables, called Renewals. It should be Renewables. And if that's Renewables, okay, and then, but I don't want it to show variable. Let me try that. Okay, there we go. So now I see just that one value, and but it's not sorting correctly, is it? So sort by field. Oh no, I want to. Okay, so this has the countries in order. Okay, that's fine. So what I want to do now is I'm going to kind of put a dummy field in here. So we've got how many years? We have how many years going across? So we've got what, 21 years. So 2010 would be the midpoint. Okay, so I'm going to say if year equals 2010, oops, then 1. Some, and I need to move what did I do wrong there? Okay, if year, oh, if, let's see, so year of year. But I want this to be here. And then I'm going to make this a dual axis and synchronize. Okay, and then on my all marks card, I want to get rid of measure names. Okay, but I do not want to synchronize. Okay, so that just gives me a nice little dot up here at the top. So what I'm going to do here on this is I'm going to make this a maybe just text. And I'm going to put the area onto the text shelf like that. I don't need the year on there. Oops, I better leave it. I don't need the variable on there. Okay, and then what I could do here, so maybe I'll put the year there, And then I could put this label. Where's our label? 2020 share renewables. I could put that on text as well. Okay, and then I'm going to go here and remove that. Okay, all right, so, but I want these a bit higher, so let me set the fixed to go from 0 to 2. Okay, so 0 to 2.5. Oh, this has to be 0 to 3. Okay, so if I make this so I want to make this 1.0. I'm making it 1.0 so I can, there we go. So now I can be a bit more specific with the I could make my range like 2.5 or something like that if I wanted to. So let me edit this axis now. Now I can leave that, but I want these letters higher up. So let's make this. Oh, you know what? I can synchronize. Let's see. Why don't I actually make this? I can synchronize these because if I make this like 105 or 110, and then I synchronize, it'll move those up above. Okay, so I need this to be the average. Okay, there we go. So now they're all above each of the marks. Maybe I'll make this 115 because I can see some of them overlapping. I don't want that in the tooltip. I don't want to show the header. Okay, and now in my text, I'm going to format this to have the area. Oops, put the area first. And then maybe center the whole thing. I could make this maybe like, I don't know, 11 point and bold. And maybe I should also make it the same green. So let's see what this is. So copy. And then let's go back in here again. It didn't save, did it? Of course not. More. And then paste. Okay, apply. Okay, but why is color? Oh. I want this color to be automatic though, so let's get rid of that. Cancel, cancel. Oh, that's annoying. So let's make it a circle and then label. But what's annoying here is, so let's do all. It's forcing the color to be, I don't want this to be that, I want it to be black. Okay, there we go. So let me switch this back to text. Okay, there we go. So now I don't particularly, I wonder if I got rid of, so if I get rid of fossil fuels and then make this an area chart, how does that look? Oh, not very good. Okay, so I think this is a bit better. So we need this to go to, so you can see Cyprus is overlapping there. So if I make this like, let's go from -5 to 150. Okay, 175. Okay. Oh, okay, no, I'm doing that wrong. Okay. So let's make this like 125. There we go. So I've just got some overlapping there with Cyprus. Okay, so I can hide that. Now if I look at my tooltips, I don't want to show a tooltip on here, so I'm just going to remove all that. And now here I've got the year, the variable, and the, okay, so I could put here, I'm going to put fossil fuels on the tooltip, renewables on the tooltip, Make those both attributes. Okay, and now I should see. Okay, why is it splitting the view up then? Oops. Okay, went to the wrong thing here. Okay, so we want to do fossil onto the tooltip and renewables onto the tooltip. Okay, there we go. So I could see the fossil fuels is that, renewables is, oh no, okay, that's not going to work. Okay, so let me just customize the tooltip and area, and then maybe the year and the variable, and then the about that. Okay, what does that look like now? Cypress 2014, fossil fuels is 93%, renewables is 8.7. Okay, so let me just change the color of that. Maybe I'll make this one unbold. How's that look? Fossil fuels. Okay, so tooltip. I'm just going to put a space in here. Okay, I don't like that, so I'm going to go back. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all right. So we've got that, and then I'm going to format the view, and I'm going to get rid of my grid lines. I'm going to get rid of my row and column dividers. Is that good? No, I think I still need those, but maybe I'll make them a lot lighter. Yeah, lighter, maybe something like that. I'm going to get rid of my zero lines. Okay, and then on this header, come on. So I'm going to get rid of the title, and I want it to go from so fixed. I want the origin to be 1/1/2000, and then show me ticks every maybe 5 years. What does that look like? Probably every 10 years. Okay, and now I'm going to format that axis and maybe make it 8 point and maybe a lighter gray. Okay, and then I'm going to format this. So format. I'm going to again make this a lighter gray. And then I need the number for the scale, has to be number custom with a percent. Okay, and then let's make it 8, but I only want the scale, so edit axis. And I want the scale to go from, so fixed 0, I want to go every 50. But this is, I don't want to show this 150%, so I'm going to make this maybe, what if I make this, if I make it 125, what if I make this, just trying to get rid of, there we go, so that gets rid of that. All right, so now I'm going to go in here. Okay, and then let me show the header again. Get rid of the one over here. Get rid of this title. Close that. Hide the header. Okay, so the next thing I need to do then is come up with some kind of title. So I'm going to try to build this again, and I'll publish it. I'll publish it another time. But if I go back to the top here, where's our very original chart? Because I kind of like the title of the original. Okay, where'd the original chart go? Here we go. So, all right, so EU. Okay, so 1, 2, So 1, let's see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 16 of the countries here. So that's 16 out of, how many do we have? 30. So 16 out of 28. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 30. Yeah, so 16 out of 28. So 16 divided by 28. So 57%. Okay. Okay. 57% of EU 27 countries. How do I want to say this? How about renewables? Renewables have overtaken fossil fuels in 57% of EU countries. I don't know if that sounds very good. So this is percent of share of electricity produced. So as of 2020, renewables have overtaken fossil fuels. Okay, so what does that look like? So let's do this. Okay, so database design. Come on. Okay. Let's maybe make that 18. Maybe make it 10 below semi-bold. And I can make renewables the green. Okay. All right, and then I need to put my worksheet caption. So let me go back here. So data source is Ember. So where is it here? And their Twitter handle is Ember Climate. Create a by. And I think tomorrow what I'll do, when I record a tip tomorrow, I'll record how to create these kind of small multiple maps because it's, or small multiple views, because it's very easy to okay, so hit OK. And but anyway, this it's like 6 steps you need to do to get it to look right. So let me now do a new dashboard. I'll call this okay, I probably should save this here at some point. So Maker Monday 2021, week 4, week 5, renewables, renewables versus fossil fuels in Europe. Okay. So let's go ahead and, so this is 1000 by 800. Okay, so I'm going to start with that. Okay, and let's make it, so I can get rid of that. Let's set this to 00, 1800. And padding is, let's put 20. That looks okay. And then I need to show my caption. So I do the caption instead, that way I don't have to add an extra sheet or anything in here. So now I think this is a bit compact. So I'm actually going to spread my axis out a bit. So I'm going to edit my axis, and I'm going to maybe fix it on 1, 1. What if I do 1990? No, that's too far. Look at that. I chose in fixed start, and that's so stupid. So 0101 1995. I'm just trying to get it to move over a bit. Oh. See, now it says 1990 again. What the hell? Okay, and let me just fix this one. So this would be 1/1/2025. What I'm trying to do is give these charts a bit more room between each other. So maybe if I did 1997 and 2023. Okay, so 2024. I know it's very finicky, but I want it to look good. Okay, so we've got that, and now where's the one country that was? So see, Estonia is overwriting here, and so is Cyprus. So I need to go back to my, or maybe I can just change the layout. What if I make it a bit taller? Okay. So those, okay, so I need to go back to this sheet then, and I need to change this to maybe 100. Let me try and make it 125. Oh, but that then shows my 150 on the axis, doesn't it? Okay, so, but now, okay, they're not overriding now, so that's good. So let me go back here and make this maybe 124. Let's see what that does. I just wanted to get rid of those labels. 120. 119. All right. I just don't let, oh, there we go. Okay, so that's pretty good. All right, and now they're all in sequential order as well, which I like. So, and then area, so create category here, I'm going to call this area, and I'm going to make those all uppercase, and hit OK. And then I'm going to right click and geographic role. And I don't really need to do that, but that's okay. Now I want to replace, and I want to replace it with area. Okay, and now all these are uppercase, which I like. So I'm going to go in here to my text again, and maybe, so those are 9. So maybe if I make those 8. Oh, it screwed up the color again. Isn't that annoying? Why is it doing that? That makes no sense at all. So let me make it a circle, and labels on. See? And now if I set it back to text, it'll work. That's so stupid. Okay. Okay, so there we go. I think okay. Okay, so I think I'm okay with that. Are there any last, in the single multiple line sheet, could you use average of 1 if you wanted a background? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Why would I want to put a background on it? I don't get that. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm going to go with this. It's not my favorite, but it's okay. And I hope you found that useful. Thank you for tuning in. Again, if you enjoyed it, share it with some others. Invite them next week. We'll have, I think next week is a Viz 5 data set, which I always struggle with. So if you want to see me struggle creating one of these, come next week. And again, I'll build that tile map once I can get the Excel spreadsheet set up for it. So I guess that's it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.